Alright fellas, here we're back on Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at a 3 out of 5 Akari and Hisuian Samurott. I don't know what time this video is going up. If it's going up the day after this video should be up, then oh well, because work's a bitch. Anyway, we're going to see how good she is at 3 out of 5, and I'm expecting very good things, because there's a lot in this grid that makes her a lot more powerful, especially compared to what I was already looking at before when she was only 1 out of 5. Honestly, the stuff down here, other than maybe like the Mighty Rush and whatever else, you know, the stuff that's at 5 out of 5, I don't think she's got anything insane outside of up here. All of the stuff that is up here is what she really wants. The only thing down here that is the Sync Node, I would say. That's really it. She gets Unflappable, which obviously not really that big. You could, of course, get a Lucky Skill for it. NPR on the trainer move, which is already beaten out by Sync Burst, which realistically you don't need, right? Sync Burst is good, obviously, because you can give an ally physical moves next and special moves next, right? But you're also wasting a turn with Akari that could be used with her top performer Ceaseless Edge, or her Ceaseless Edge, or whatever else, right? So you're kind of wasting a turn giving physical moves next and special moves next, and if you're already using her Sync move, you're already applying Dark Zone, because there's 9 times out of 10, if you have her 3 out of 5, she's also probably EX'd, right? So you're going to get the Dark Zone from the Field EX, so you don't really need the Dark Zone here. You would really just do this for the physical moves next and special moves next, and I guess maybe speed buffs, but overall, I don't see this being too valuable, except maybe in a Gauntlet scenario where you need a longer duration of zone, or obviously for physical moves next and special moves next, right? She's also got Fierce Entry 2 here, which raises her attack by 2 on entry, meaning combine that with her Survey Core teaching ability, and she'll have maxed out physical attack as well as crit and whatnot, right? So you could do that for +6, but really, if you're going to do that, bring an attack support or any ally who can buff your attack. I don't think it's really that important to pick this up when you have a lot better things up here. Potion NPR and Master Healer, obviously, that's self-explanatory. Better for the Gauntlet for sure, but obviously nothing insane. And I'd say this is probably her best ability down here, is the free moves next 4, other than maybe the Sync Burst. I'd say that may be better, but 50% chance to apply free moves next when attacking an enemy in the dark damage field. Pretty nice if you are using Ceaseless Edge, but most of the time you're using a 2-gauge move, top performer Ceaseless Edge, and she's already got the speed buffs from her trainer move as well as the quick tempo, so your gauge is going to be fine. Not really that big of an ability. But once you get up here to 3 out of 5, for the top part here, you've got some good things. So we have this ability here which raises her speed when attacking an enemy in dark damage field. This isn't a massive ability. This is just what I picked in order to get up here for the energy. You could of course choose to just pick this up and then pick up some attack nodes or something, but I just decided to pick this up for the speed buffs. It's nice. But she's also got attack, Dark Zone attack, move damage reduction 2, reduces damage received when hit by a move in Dark Zone. This was mostly just because you can't really get anything else here. You can't really do anything too quickly. I mean, I guess you could do this, but of course you don't really need all that energy. So there is this ability here, which is Dark Damage Field Opponent Move, whatever it's called. I'm not reading that. Powers up the user's moves when Dark Damage Field is applied to the opponent's field of play. So, since it's got 3, it is a 30% multiplier just for having Dark Damage Field up. Extra 30% damage. Amazing, right? Of course, we have the Sync Node. And we also got Dark Damage Field Extension 3, extending the duration of Dark Damage Field when on the opponent's field. So we get an extra full turn of Dark Damage Field, so we don't have to set it back up, meaning we've got extra turns of damage from our Ceaseless Edge, Buddy Move, whatever it's called. And we've also got Dark Zone Sync moves up 5. 50% power buff to our sync moves when in Dark Zone, so just pretty much a free multiplier for the most part, right? Obviously. Oh, and Haymaker, right? I pretty much skipped over it. We've also got Haymaker as well. 100% multiplier, right? Combine this with the multiplier here, you got 150% multiplier, as well as, of course, Crit Strike 2 in the grid, or in the passives. So you've got yourself that effect as well on a 275 base power sync move as well. So definitely got some good power here. Got the Dark Zone, of course, and you've got good DPS on top of that. All of this stuff combined just makes the card very self-sufficient and a very good damage dealer. The Dark Damage Field extension is going to be so good, because being able to spam the top performer Ceaseless Edge even more is going to be so amazing for damage. So yeah, let's go ahead, hop into some battles, see just how powerful Akari is compared to how she was at 1 out of 5 with the new 3 out of 5 investments. Alright, here's our battle versus Fire Week Wickstrom. We've got Sonya in the Master Royale alongside Akari here. Honestly, pretty easy run, I would say. I mean, the big thing with the Kalos Stadium is that, honestly, they've got a lot of different mechanics, so it kind of limits your choices in team composition. And if you are wanting to be more diverse with your team composition, you have to sacrifice points. or you know, be restrictive on your points. So I kind of had to deal with that, so I just changed the setup a little bit that I was going with before, and we are using the Master Royale here for some side DPS slash debuffs for Akari, right? But Akari still definitely performs very, very well in this battle, of course, obviously. This is a pretty budgeted setup, right? Sonya's pretty old at this point, over a year and a half old. Master Royale is probably over 2 years old at this point, I would say. I think so. Yeah, he is, because I've been playing for 2 years. So he's probably reaching the 2.5-year-old mark at this point. So pretty easy partners to use, right? We use the Master Royale here for some debuffs on attack and defense for his own multipliers, as well as giving Akari some extra boost in damage. We do use her sync move here in order to KO the Doug trio, and we're obviously going to spam the top performer Ceaseless Edges here in order to get some good damage, and it is pretty good damage, because I'm pretty sure this is the maxed out one here. 9,000, basically 10,000 damage off type, with like -2 on the defense debuffs, I think. Still pretty good, man, with no support EX, just her own sync move, right? Pretty good. Obviously, the sync move doesn't hit for too hard, but still, being able to KO that side was enough, for sure. And we do a lot of damage here. Like, we do give her, pretty sure, yeah, I gave her the +2 physical moves next from her trainer move, because I did want to see the outcome, and 18, pretty much 19,000 damage, and they had, what, -5, I think, on the defenses? That was it. And we used yeah, we used our last Ceaseless Edge there, was about 8,000 damage because it didn't have the rock damage filled up, or dark damage filled up. And we used the sync move here, which does how much? 18,000 damage. Second sync move, you know, no support EX, just one sync buff. Pretty good. I'd say she's definitely very strong, for sure. I do obviously plan to give her the EX Striker roll, which is going to make her look a lot more impressive, because Striker damage is just, well, not damage, but Striker AoE sync moves, honestly, built to be more impressive in my opinion. And obviously it helps your team composition a lot, because I don't have to target a specific, you know, enemy in order to do a lot of damage to them. I can just target the middle and I can do AoE damage, so works out a lot better for me. But yeah, the Master Rail definitely works very, very well with Akari because of the Dark Zone, as well as obviously giving her the defense debuffs, as well as, of course, just doing some good side DPS, so we could KO Wickstrom there in a timely manner. And Akari did very well, 18,000 damage on that one move with +2 physical moves next. Pretty impressive. So yeah, that was the battle versus Fire Weak Wickstrom. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here is the battle versus Bruno, Psychic Weak Bruno. We've got Aaron, I tried to think, I was going to say Vespa Queen, but Aaron, and we've got Nanu as well. This is more of a setup for Akari just to do her own damage by herself, be the own self-sufficient damage dealer that she is, as well as zone setter, of course. Nanu is here for defense debuffs, as well as some flinching. Same thing with Aaron. Thing with this battle is that Aaron did get flinched, and I obviously could have reset the battle and just, you know, dealt with it, right? I could have, but I just felt like continuing on, seeing how it went, right? So it does lead to us having a little bit of bad luck, but we still get the win in pretty easily, I would say. So yeah, it's not too bad. I did want to, yeah, see that flinch, very unlucky, but still, it works out. The flinches were very nice from Nanu and Aaron once he started getting unflinched, so that's good. And yeah, the good defense debuffs from Nanu are just amazing, right? And the fact that these enemies don't have too much HP, especially compared to Wickstrom and, you know, Drazna and whatnot, they just have an insane amount. These guys definitely a lot easier to take down because of the less HP pool to work with. See, KO the side there, 12,000 damage, and then we can obviously start spamming our top performer Ceaseless Edges, and we'll be fine. Sadly, it does take us some time to queue up moves with Aaron, but 9,000 damage on our, what? I think, is that a maxed out Ceaseless Edge? I don't remember, but yeah, we do the same strategy here where we give Akari her physical moves next, as well as, again, reset the Dark Zone, and then we use the top performer Ceaseless Edge, and I'm quite certain, I think it takes it out? Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it almost just doesn't KO, and we KO with that attack order right there. I'm quite certain. Yeah, 17, basically 18,000 damage, KO right there. Amazing stuff, amazing stuff. So, yeah. We go for the flinch here. Sadly, again, Aaron does go down, but that's, you know, how the cookie crumbles sometimes. We do some pretty solid damage here, get in the sync move. Sadly, the Dark Zone does go down because, of course, I set the Dark Zone with her trainer move. So it reset the, you know, counter and whatnot. A little annoying, sure, but hey, it's fine. We're able to get the win in. We keep them flinched. We don't crit. See, a lot of bad luck, but I think it definitely accurately depicts how easy she's able to defeat a stage by herself as the only damage dealer, right? Just we have the support for healing as well as defense buffs and whatnot, as well as the flinches. And then we have Nano for flinches and defense debuffing. And the only one doing actual damage is Akari and her, sync move, top performer ceaseless edges, normal ceaseless edges, etc. So very, very easy win there, especially against Bruno. So that was nice, right? Pretty nice. Definitely very, very good damage from Akari. Very, very self-reliant, self-sufficient, whatever you want to call her, right? Definitely very, very good. So there are the grids for Aaron, Nano, and Akari. Pretty sure I show Akari's grid here, even though I don't mean to. Yeah, it was a mistake. I realized it after I'd already shown. I was like, oops. Oh well, whatever. But it's fine. So yeah, that was the battle versus Bruno. Let's go ahead, move on to the next one, which should be against Malva, and it's a very, very fun battle. Alright, here's our battle versus Malva. We've got Neo Champion Marty and Classic, or Signa Lisa. Buddy, this is just, this stuff is fun to me. We got an even better setup. I did take some notes from Spark on his video for Over Akari, because I did want to analyze that, get a couple ideas for my own. But, of course, credit where credit is due, right? Inspiration and whatnot. So this was fun here because we were able to get a lot of special moves next on Neo Champion Marnie. I do go for the Protect here to protect from another attack. Probably shouldn't have done that because they missed their overheat. But oh well, it's fine. We do some pretty good damage here because we do have some different parameters. So the damage does look a lot more impressive. So we got the Protect there, and let's go ahead, go for the Buddy Fire Your Wrath, and look at this damage. For one, the normal ceaseless edge is there. 3,000 damage, not too bad, right? Fine. Buddy Fire Your Wrath, 23,000 damage because of the Dark Zone, and +5 special moves next, 2 of which were applied from Akari. And the sync countdown from the Head Start 1, as well as obviously Classic or Signature with Lisa, all just very, very strong. Easy 2,500 points, right? Easy points. It's very easy to do that same setup if you have the half sync countdown parameter, which I could have done with that, and I've seen people do that, but I just figured I'd keep it as is, use Signature Lisa. But of course, if you do want to try that same strategy, you could obviously use a different sync countdown unit, or of course bring them on the half sync countdown parameter, and you should be able to do the same type of setup, as long as you get lucky with the rolls on what the enemies use. Anyway, yeah, that was the battle versus Malva. Let's move on to the next one, which is also versus Malva. Alright, here we are against Malva again. This time it is a Karen and Houndoom assist showcase, I guess. This is a pretty weird one because Malva does have Dauntless, so she can't have her special attack debuffed, but that wasn't really the point here. I did want to use Karen later on in the battle. I was mostly using this to have Karen be the side defeater and have Akari be the main damage dealer for the middle, right? And Signature Chris is here not really to provide like a bunch of special moves next spam, but she's here in order to change the weather from sun to rain, as well as apply gauge acceleration. So once we use Akari's sync move, it won't cancel out our gauge acceleration because she has an on-entry, and it won't screw around with how the enemies kill their moves. I know that may not make sense, but trust me, there's a reason I do what I do for the most part. Sometimes I do make mistakes, but we all do. So as you can see, only the sides can be debuffed for special attack here. It is annoying, but those are my main targets for the damage here from Karen. And we do obviously not have the 6 gauge bars down there, so her Sync Power Flux will not be fully activated, but it'll be activated enough to get enough damage in, especially under Dark Zone, and having their special attack fully debuffed. And of course, we have Akari here to cover some damage that she may not be able to provide, so it's not too bad. And of course, we have Chris here able to provide some good heals, as well as being self-reliant on her own heals, so it's not too bad there. Karen's able to get her own crit and special attack max pretty easily, alongside a little bit of help from Chris there, so not too bad in that regard. We go ahead, get our next top performer Ceaseless Edge in here, right there. Does about 8,000 damage, pretty solid I would say, nothing insane, but still pretty good. And of course, we help out Karen here with her sync move. Pretty sure that's where the gauge acceleration went down, or no, it was the dark damage field. Dark damage field went down, but that's fine. We use Karen's sync move here, and it takes out all of them, yeah. Good 11,000 damage, not too shabby, right? Takes out everyone, so that's not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, there was the showcase with Karen. Obviously, I could have done that a little bit better, could have brought some different parameters, whatever else, right? Better different stage, because of course you can't debuff Malva or her special attack rather, so you got to keep that in mind. But it's not too bad overall, it's not too bad. Don't think there's anything else I need to bring up. Yeah, Akari, I would say Akari is definitely a very, very good character to help out others. She can work for her own damage for sure, and being self-sufficient with her own buffs and whatnot, but of course I do think running her with other dark damage dealers is the best way to go about it, because they work off of each other very, very well. Her and pretty much any other dark damage dealer, they can work out very, very well. She can cover anything they may need, and they can cover anything she may need, right? Mostly just extra damage, so yeah, that's nice. Anyway, let's wrap up the video, and I'll give my final thoughts. Alright, overall, I would say Akari and Samurott, very, very good at 1 out of 5 for sure. Their damage, it does change a decent bit between 1 out of 5 and 2 out of 5, or 3 out of 5 I've noticed, but I think the big, obviously the bigger benefiter is her sync move, to where first sync move, if you have some extra damage on that one side, as well as maybe some defense debuffs, you're able to do a lot more damage to that one side, about 12,000. Definitely far easier to get a KO and, you know, get some extra, you know, turn denial in there and whatnot. And of course, that second sync move is where the damage is really a lot harder hitting, I would say, for sure. Because you do get that, I'm pretty sure that I had a sync move hit for about 15,000 for sure on the second sync move, with only having one sync buff. I mean, that's not too bad, especially for a field character here who is just no multiplier innate, 275 base power sync move, 1 sync node, and then 150% total in multipliers, plus the crit strike too. That's about it, right? So I think that's not too bad. And of course, her big thing is the damage with the top performer Ceaseless Edges, and the 3 out of 5 grid is amazing for the dark damage field extension. That is so good. Having to not set that up every single second is amazing, so you can get yourself a lot of max damage. And of course, once you got that final attack in there with the top performer Ceaseless Edge to where it's got fully built up, you can of course use the trainer move here, give herself +2 physical moves next, and that final top performer Ceaseless Edge will hit for a lot of damage. You saw it against Wickstrom, you saw it against Bruno. It hit for what, 17, 18, 19,000 damage. Very, very impressive stuff if you can use it right. Of course, we didn't use the potions too much, but of course those are probably more catered for a legendary gauntlet. If you do want to see me use the potions, I'm quite certain I do it in the 1 out of 5 showcase whenever I face Cresselia. I didn't face a legendary arena because, for one, it's about 11 p.m. at night, so got to be careful of that and all of that, right? So I don't got to be careful of being 11 p.m., but I want to get this video up as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, yeah. So Akari, 3 out of 5, very, very nice for sure. I'll do another showcase once I get her EX roll. I will for sure be giving her the EX striker roll and whatnot. Don't have any other better use for it. And Hisui, again, favorite region. One of my favorite pairs here for sure. So I definitely will be making full use of that AoE sync move as well as the stat boost and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that video. It probably will come out in a few days, maybe a day or two after Ray comes out. I think that's about the time I'll put it up. But yeah, anyway, that was the Akari and Samurott 3 out of 5 showcase. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about them down in the comments below, and I will see you all later.